Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Well, welcome once again to Kahului Hongwanji Buddhist Temple's online YouTube Sunday service. Today's service is for August 1st, 2021, and this is just our regular family service. So today, after we've now listened to the Kansho, the calling bell, we will chant the Vandana Tisarana. Vandana and Tisarana is a very ancient chant in which we praise the Buddha, praise the Buddha's enlightenment, and take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. And then we will chant the Sutra Gassho to Amida, which is a modern sutra, and it is in English, so very easy to understand and very meaningful. And then we will recite the Golden Chain of Love. We are all part of Amida's Golden Chain of Love, the Golden Chain of Love, which is the reality of boundless life, boundless compassion, infinite wisdom, infinite love and compassion. So following that, I will share a Dharma message with you, and then we will chant the Metta, or the loving kindness meditation, followed by the singing of the Nembutsu, and then we'll have some closing words and announcements. So thank you very much for being here, and let's begin our service now by reciting the Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu. 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 Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to him, the exalted one, the enlightened one, the supremely awakened one. Bhutang saranang gacchami, dhammang saranang gacchami, sanghang saranang gacchami. I go to the Buddha for guidance. I go to the Dharma for guidance. I go to the Sangha for guidance. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda, Namanda. Namo Amida Butsu. I recite Amida's name with deep joy and gratitude. I Gassho to Amida, trees and grasses and flowers
light shines throughout the world. I Gassho to Amida. Flowers bloom and flowers fall. From the seed sprout new flowers. This is the truth unchanging. I Gassho to Amida. Springtime brings the happy birds. Their songs all praise Amida. I join them in Nembutsu. I Gassho to Amida. When I call Amida's name, it's Amida calling me. Buddha's voice, my voice are one. I Gassho to Amida. When I'm lonely, I recite Namo Amida Butsu. Then I feel great compassion. I Gassho to Amida. Nembutsu in work and play, every day with Amida, every moment filled with light. I Gassho to Amida. Remember the golden chain, kindness to all living things. I will follow this teaching. I Gassho to Amida. In the clear bright morning sun, in the fading light of day, in the darkness of the night, I Gassho to Amida. Namo Amida Butsu. I live in great compassion. This great power guides my life. I Gassho to Amida. Namandabu, 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 Namandabu. The virtue of Amida's vow is shared equally by all, together attaining awakened mind. We are born in the land of peace. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda, Namanda, Namanda.
Golden Chain of Love. I am a link in Amida Buddha's golden chain of love that stretches around the world. I must keep my link bright and strong. I will try to be kind and gentle to every living thing and protect all who are weaker than myself. I will try to think pure and beautiful thoughts, to say pure and beautiful words, and to do pure and beautiful deeds, knowing that on what I do now depends not only my happiness or unhappiness, but also that of others. May every link in Amida Buddha's golden chain of love
become bright and strong, and may we all attain perfect peace. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu.
Well, welcome once again, and at this time I'd like to share a few thoughts about the Buddha's teaching with you. Sometimes over the years I will do a Dharma message like this with, instead of just a kind of a straight, typical kind of message, I will draw from a collection of quotations that I kind of save in my notebook, and I call these messages odds and ends. So I choose a few quotations that I think are very meaningful, and poems, and little quotations from books, and passages from books, and things that people have said, and use those as a basis of a kind of reflections, a series of reflections. So I'd like to do that today. And I want to start out with a quote from Albert Schweitzer. And this is from Albert Schweitzer's, I think it's his autobiography. So I think it's called My Life or something like that. So anyway, this is what he said. And by the way, when I read these, I'll put them on the screen so that you can see, you can read along with it. Okay? So he said, many times a day, my own outer and inner life is built upon the labors of my fellow men, both living and dead. And how much harder I must work in order to give in return as much as I have received. Okay? So that's short enough that I can read it again. Many times a day, my own outer and inner life is built upon the labors of my fellow men. Of course, he means human beings, so all human beings, both living and dead. And how much harder I must work in order to give in return as much as I have received. So I think that's a very important realization that he had. And really it is the essence of religion. It is the essence of the spiritual life. Certainly it is the essence of Buddhism and particularly of Jodo Shinshu. So what is he saying? Very simply, that he realizes it's important that he says his outer and inner life too. Not only our physical life, but our thoughts, our minds, our opinions, our memories, our feelings, everything are all something that is built upon the labors of my fellow human beings, he says, my fellow human beings. In other words, other people have worked and striven and lived their lives so that we are able to, each of us, be who we are now. And I would add to, the only thing missing, I think, is that not just human beings, but all living things, our inner and outer life is built upon the work and the living of all living things, both living and dead. So he's acknowledging that, not just people around me today, but everyone who's gone before. Their lives, their living 1,000 years ago, 10,000 years ago, is still supporting my living today. It's I think, a very important realization. Without that, there's no possibility of living a meaningful, fulfilling life. Our life is bound to be just beleaguered by stress, by all kinds of conflict and hatefulness, the poison of greed and anger and so on, without the realization. And what is that realization? I have a debt of gratitude to pay back to others for who I am, for being able to have and to live this moment of life. That's very important. So he doesn't use the expression, this moment of life, but I think he alludes to it when he says many times a day. And so, but to move on now to the next quotation, this is David Steindl-Rast, who is a Catholic, a Christian monk, and he is kind of known for his work in teaching gratitude, gratefulness he calls it. He is a Trappist monk, and that is one of the kind of serious orders of monks. They really, like Buddhist monks who devote themselves entirely all day long to the practice of Buddhism. Same thing with the Trappist monks. Their whole life revolves around living this their spiritual path. So he's a very interesting, very a wonderful person. So I'm going to read a passage from him. It's actually 3 short paragraphs. So let me start with the first paragraph. So he says, "We can be people who live gratefully. How can we live gratefully? By experiencing, by becoming aware that every moment is a given moment. It's a gift. You haven't earned it. You haven't brought it about in any way. You have no way of assuring that there will be another moment given to you." So let's look at that, analyze that a little bit. How can we live gratefully? By experiencing, so that's another way of saying by becoming aware, by waking up to the reality that every moment is a moment we receive. It's given to us. It's a gift. It's not something I have earned. This moment of life, I have not earned it. I have not brought it about in any way. No matter how talented, no matter how rich I may be, that I can buy anything and do anything I want, one thing I can't do is I cannot create this moment that I'm living now. This moment of life has come to me through the living of others, and from the beginning of time, that have, through causes and conditions, have brought this moment about. I'm living. I have arisen. We don't own the moment of life we're living. We don't own our life. We are expressed by the life of all things that have brought us to this moment and given birth to me and you right now in this moment. So he says, final statement he says is that we have no way of assuring that there will be another moment like this. You can't be sure that that there will be another moment given to you. So this is it. This moment is it. And that's very important to realize, you know. I want to add something else, and just really realization, gratitude makes us also say, this moment is enough. So when Shinran teaches us Nembutsu is gratitude. It is realizing, it is letting go, Namo, letting go, to bound and accepting that we are embraced, we are nurtured, we are brought about by boundless life. That's Amida, means boundless, infinite life, infinite compassion and wisdom have brought us into being in this moment. And we say, this moment is enough. I don't need another moment. Right? I'm grateful for every moment. But gratitude means that we accept each moment as the greatest thing, enough, right? So then he goes on. Father Ross, Stendhal Ross goes on. He says, and yet, that is the most valuable thing that can ever be given to us, this moment. This moment with all the opportunity that it contains. So now, you know, within the moments of our life, that's where our action counts. Our action, in Buddhism we say our karma, does not create the moment that we're living in. That's created by life, by others. But once we are in the moment, then our action matters. Our action becomes important. Our karma becomes important. Then he goes on to say, of course, we cannot be grateful for violence. And I think this is a very important thing what he's saying here. Because sometimes I think there's a very kind of sloppy way of thinking that you get a lot of times among Buddhists, especially Jodo Shinshu, thinking that, you know, we forget about this. We're not grateful for everything. It's very important to realize that gratitude doesn't mean that I'm grateful for everything. So listen to what he says. Of course, we cannot be grateful for violence, for war, for oppression, for exploitation. I didn't say we can be grateful for everything, but we can be grateful for something in every given moment. That's very important. We can be grateful for something in every given moment. That something, of course, is the life we have received and all the kindness we receive. So, in general, the great compassion we receive, but in particular, from each person, thank you so much, thank you so much, thank you so much, right? I'm so grateful, right? I didn't do anything to deserve your kindness, and yet I receive it, yeah? So, but it's very important to not lump it all together and say it doesn't matter what happens, war, exploitation, well, that's just the way things are. No, that's not the way things are. That's the way we distort and pervert reality through our selfish minds. Gratitude is the correction for that kind of reality. And we have to work and stand up to, even at the cost of our own well-being and lives, stand up against those very things, violence, oppression, war, and so on. So that's with gratitude to Father David Stendhal-Rast for those wonderful words. What is the difference between that and Jodo Shinshu? That's really the same message, So I have a few more things to read here. This is from an ancient Buddhist sutra called the Mahavyuha Sutra. And here's what it says. Some piously affirm, the truth is such and such. I know, I see. And they hold that everything depends upon having the right religion. But when one really knows, one has no need of religion. When one really knows, one has no need of religion. So kind of just what I have come from the last quotation. The true message in all religions is the same. Very important, this statement, when one really knows, one has no need of religion. When we need religion is to free us from our delusions. The biggest delusion is my religion is right and your religion is wrong, right? That's a huge delusion, I know, to say that I know. But to really know, of course, means to know that I don't know. I have to take each moment of life, moment by moment. I have to look at everything with deep appreciation, but also with an eye of reality, weighing everything against reality. Does this promote greed, violence, hatred, anger? Then I know to steer clear of it. I know it's not the right path, at least not for me. So I have to make those kind of discriminating choices. But the ultimate discriminating choice we make is to realize that all truth is the same. We let go of our discrimination. So there's a story of Shakyamuni Buddha, the historical Buddha. He said he was teaching his disciples, and they were getting too attached to the teaching. Oh, well, Buddha said this, it has to be like this. No, he said such and such, it has to be like that. And the Buddha said, if you are traveling on a long journey and you come to a river, what do? Well, you have to make a boat, right? So you build a boat, and it takes a long time to build a boat. You have to cut down trees and do a lot of work. You become attached to that boat. You become fond of it. When you get across the river, or the lake or whatever it is, then Buddha said, now, as you continue on, should you carry that boat with you? And the disciple said, no, Master, that will be a foolish thing to carry that boat with you as you're walking across the land. And he said the same thing with the teaching. Right? When you need the teaching to carry you across, that's when you need it, but then you have to let go of it. You have to let go of those certainties, just because it was true and just because it helped you in one situation, because you clearly knew what you needed to do in one situation. It doesn't mean that you hold on to those words as if they are for you the answer for everything. We always need to realize that the Dharma, the teaching, comes through our experiences. We don't use the Dharma to avoid experiences, to avoid thinking, to avoid being challenged. So that's very important too. So the next one I want to read is someone named Kunio Kameoka, and it said, and he says, it's just a short poem. He says, "Took a wrong step, but I realized this too was on the path of Buddha." So it's also very important, right? If you know all the answers, you never take a wrong step. But what we really do is we pretend. We lie to ourselves that everything we do is right, and we don't admit to our wrongdoing or our mistakes. But actually, you can't learn anything without making mistakes. So mistakes, taking the wrong path, is very important. It teaches you. There's so much that you can learn when you went the wrong way that you wouldn't have learned if you just stayed on what they call the straight and narrow. So whatever path that your feet take you, your mistakes take you, that's also the path of Buddha, and it will lead you to where you need to go. And that's the point. Where I think I need to go, let's say it's over there, is not necessarily where I really need to go. That's my illusion. That's my false idea of enlightenment, of the Pure Land. I think I'm going to that place. But the real Pure Land, the real enlightenment, I don't know where it is. I don't know what it's like. Only the path of awakening, the path of the Buddha, will take me there. And so we just have to follow that path. Even if we think, oh no, I'm on the wrong path now. Well, you don't know. It's always the path of the Buddha. So we always have to have that mind. And of course, so long as we're always aware what Albert Schweitzer told us and what David Stendhal-Rast told us, always being aware of the life we are receiving, we can always respond in gratitude, Namo Amida Butsu, and then we will understand and be more calm and comfortable on our path, even if it is, we think, oh, I really took the wrong turning there, but we'll get back to where we need to go. It's okay. So, another short little poem, Miyoko Gyoren Nozawa. This person said, she said, I think, yesterday's me is not the I of today. Okay, so I think that also helps us to understand. When we look back and we think, oh gosh, how could I have done that? How could I have said that? How could I have made such a dumb mistake? Well, yes, we all make these dumb mistakes and do all these dumb things in life. Dumb, cruel, negligent, all kinds of things. But, start with who you are today. That's the real you, living in the present moment, who is the real you, who is the true moment of life. And the true you, the true I, is right here and now. So we kind of have to let go, do what we can to make up for our past mistakes, but we have to realize the path goes on from here, not from the past, right? The path goes on from right now, from the here and now. It doesn't go on from the past, which we can't change. So finally, I'd like to end with the words of Shinran Shonin, and this is from one of his poems. They call them Wasang, one of his Japanese poems. So what he said is, in this foolish being, he's talking about himself, in this foolish being filled with blind passions, living in this impermanent world, this burning house, all things are empty and vain and therefore untrue. Only the Nembutsu is true, real, and sincere. Namo Amida Butsu. So what is Shinran saying here? This foolish being, first of all, none of it makes sense unless you realize this foolish being filled with attachments. Blind passions mean attachments, which the Buddha said attachments cause our suffering. So in this foolish being filled with blind attachments, living in this impermanent world, right? We live in a world of impermanence. Of course it's impermanent. It is the world of interdependence, right? We see the impermanence. We see the change, the sadness, the mistakes, the cruelty, the loss, right? The grief, and so on. This burning house. That's reference to a parable in the Lotus Sutra and other places that the world is like a burning house. The world of blind passions, the world of attachments, where we stake our happiness, we stake our reality on impermanent things, or another way to say it is we think that through our own efforts, our goals, our aspirations for attainment and success in this world, we will gain happiness. But that's a mistake. That's a mistaken view, an illusionary view, illusory view. We will not. We never attain happiness through our own attainments and achievements. They bring temporary happiness, but sometimes temporary pleasure, but that quickly fades. And usually life is one disappointment after another, because even since we were children, we think, oh, if I only have that toy or that whatever is being advertised, that a video game or whatever it is, and we get older, go to this school, this degree, this house, this car, whatever it is. All the toys in our life nowadays, the devices and everything. Oh, that one will bring me happiness. I buy it. No, I'm not happy now. I need something else. This house. We need a house that will bring us happiness. We need a bigger car or whatever it is. Of course, we all need things in this world. We need houses. We need cars. Well, hopefully someday we'll find a better way than everyone driving around in fossil fuel burning cars. But that's not helping us right now, but of course we need things, but that's not the point. The point is that we are always staking our emotional, our inner happiness on these things, and it won't come that way. So he says, he's pointing out, this burning house, this realm of impermanence. The allusion to the burning house is that the children are playing in the burning house and they don't know it's burning, and the father has to call them out, and they don't come. So he tricks them by saying, "Oh, I've got the thing you really want." In that case, it was a kind of a carriage with 6 horses or something, or oxen. I can't remember. But he tempts them with a toy that they wanted, a possession that they wanted. Then they come running out of the house just before it falls apart. So that story was meant to teach the way that we of course are guided through our limited views of things. We look at at first we think of the Dharma of religious teaching, spiritual teaching, as something that's going to get us what we want, right? But but that saves us, that draws us into a different way of thinking. Eventually we realize it isn't like the boat that the Buddha said, you need it to cross over the river. It's a nice boat, but you have to let it go. You have to leave it behind. So even religious things are part of even spiritual things are part of this world of impermanence, this burning house. It is in letting go of our attachments, that we begin to discover the true reality. So he says, all things are empty. All these things that we become attached to are empty and vain and therefore untrue. They don't have truth with a capital T, permanent truth. He says, only the Nembutsu is true, real, and sincere. It's hard for us to be sincere. We always have a kind of a hidden agenda, something else that we want. We might, even when we're being kind to others and so on, or maybe making donations to the temple or something, but our goodness is not our virtue. Our good deeds are not absolutely pure. There's always some kind of self-centered agenda going on. And Shinran really, really realized that and emphasized it. But when we begin to walk that path, we hear that call of true reality. Namo Amida Butsu is a way of expressing that. Just bow, just let go, and be embraced by boundless life. Then we see the true world around us, right? The illusory world of our blind passions, our kind of thoughts of fulfillment and happiness based on our attachment to things outside of ourselves become more clear. We begin to see more clearly that that's not real. That's not real, and that kind of brings us back to understanding, that what is real is this moment of life. That really coming full circle, this moment of life to which we naturally are able to say, I'm so grateful. Namo Amida Butsu. So thank you very much for listening, and I hope that you will reflect on these things, and that this will, help you on your path. So thank you very much, and let's recite the Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.
May all beings be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May I be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to me. May I live in peace and harmony. May my family be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May my teachers be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May my friends be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May strangers be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May my enemies be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. May all beings be happy and well. May no harm or difficulties come to them. May they live in peace and harmony. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo.
Well, thank you very much for joining us for this Kahului Hongwanji Buddhist Temple's YouTube service this week. And I hope you enjoyed the service and found something meaningful to take away with you. We will meet again next week, August 8th. We will have our in-person service at 9 a.m. here in the temple if you're able to join here for that. And also we will have a YouTube service uploaded for that day. On August 15th, there will be no services, neither in person or YouTube. And then on August 22nd, there will be again an in-person service at 9 a.m. As well as a YouTube video will be uploaded. On August 29th, once again, there will be no services, neither in person or the YouTube service. Another announcement I'd like to make, this is a little kind of early, but just so you can get it on your calendar, Maui Hongwanji Council, that's a group of the Jodo Shinshu temples here on Maui, sponsors every year what we call Nembutsu seminar. So we have a speaker come, and it's usually traditionally Saturday and Sunday, so most of the day on Saturday and then Sunday morning. And the Nembutsu seminar will be is scheduled for November 13th and 14th, Saturday and Sunday, and it will be at Wailuku Hongwanji Buddhist Temple. So I don't have too much information. The speaker will be Reverend Ken Fujimoto, who was a minister on the mainland, Buddhist churches of America. And registration is required for this seminar, and there is a fee, but it's not very much. But of course, the caveat is that we don't know if COVID situation will allow this to take place. I mean, things can change so quickly, so we will just have to wait and see. But in any case, registration will be required. I don't know if they've started the registration yet, but just you can put it on your calendar. If they do not have it as an in-person event, it will probably be held as a Zoom kind of seminar, in which case you can register for that and watch it from your computer, participate through your computer. So November 13th and 14th, just put it on your calendar if you're interested, and we'll see what happens. And more information will be provided, and you can always call Wailuku Hongwanji office to find out more information. So thank you again so much for joining us today, and let's conclude our service by reciting the Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida.